I certainly hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've just had a thought. Now, DJI have just launched their brand new DJI Mavic 3 Pro, which is basically an all singing, all dancing 3-camera setup drone, which promises to deliver absolutely exceptional results, and I have certainly no reason to think that will not be the case. If we look at the price in comparison to the original Mavic 3, it generally looks like, with it being basically the same price, that the new model will of course be the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. However, it's not that simple. If we look at the specifications in a little bit more detail for the new Mavic 3 Pro, we notice the weight is above that 900 grams. Now, if you live in the UK or even Europe, that's going to prevent you from flying within 150 meters of a built-up area. You see, in the UK, we have got 3 different classes. So we've got A1, A2, A3. But generally, those cover drones under 900 grams. Anything over reverts to a completely different class system. And indeed, even though us in the UK got absolutely screwed over by the CAA, what essentially happened is, even though we was due to align with the EU when it comes to the drone rules and allow us to fly closer with the C1 Mark drones, they basically scrapped all that at the 11th hour of 2022. So essentially, basically, we went back to the old system where you had to have the A2 CFC to be able to fly closer to people. And essentially, again, that bracket comes under 900 grams. And it's the same with Europe. So all these drones that were now C1 certified, which you could then fly closer to people, for example, because it was certified, it did have its auxiliary light permanently on, it did have its slower speeds, etc, etc. It basically met all the requirements. Essentially, you have to just fly it away from people. So really, that is one massive, massive problem, because if this drone does replace the original Mavic 3, the only larger drone that DJI will do, which will be able to fly closer to people, will be the Mavic 3 Classic, which is lesser specification. Big problem unless you live in the US. This drone looks fantastic, however, unless you are in the US, you're not going to be able to fly it anywhere. Oh dear.